3 reasons you are not prospecting. Ooh, this is going to be a big one. I tell you what, I was working away. I was just, typing feverishly and putting more and more material together for our amazing clients. And I've got a podcast coming on just right after this with one of our amazing loan officers that's in our program, that's crushing it, and genius loan officer, and just taking things by storm. And actually, this is going to be after, we're going to do this after his. So you're going to hear this after you heard him, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, yes, he was amazing. So you got to hear Walter Parker was absolutely crushing it on our podcast. So, but I am recording this actually before him on his, but I want to get his out there and listen to his. So I did his recording, and now we're going. And the reason I just decided to do this, because it just weighed on my mind, because there's so many people not prospecting. We get clients that come in, they're just not prospecting, and you're out there and you're not prospecting, and you know that you need to prospect, and hey, I need to talk to more people, and I need to grow my business, and all these things. I should, and you're shooting on yourself, and things are just not taking off. And I want to give you some reasons that you can dive in your own business and think, like, why am I not doing this? And these are 3 things. And listen, I just threw this together just right here a little bit ago. So I may do another podcast deeper into this, but I wanted to get on here and just slam this one in, because I want you to start grabbing hold of this, change your business, changing how you think about your prospecting and what you're doing with your business. So there we go. Go to geniusloanofficer.com and schedule your consultation call today. And we will see if you're possibly a fit for our great program. Running out, I think we only got a couple spaces left open for the Breckenridge, Colorado, March 3rd and 4th. Come out and see us. And gosh, you're going to be 2 days of just working on your business there. All right. So, gosh, 3 reasons why you're not prospecting. Number 1 is decision. You are trying to decide. All this decision is going on. And a lot of things, what's happening into decision is, I don't know what to say. Gosh, isn't that a big one? Because, I'm going to go call these real estate agents, and I just don't know really what to say. I've said stuff before, and it just hasn't worked. I feel rejected. All these things go into it. I don't know, I don't know what to say, but I really just never got that, golden nugget of what to say and how to say it and all that good stuff. That is a big one. What I would say is that frameworks are key. We teach these frameworks in Genius Loan Officer, but frameworks of how to say it, what to say, what the sequencing is, and not robotic, and not just, hey, I'm going to throw a script at you and this is what I have to read. It's frameworks, and you actually just plug and play some things that you may say just slightly different, that sounds really good coming out from you and genuine for you. But you got to have some frameworks to be able to do that, because otherwise, you're just kind of just throwing mud against the wall. You're just kind of hoping and praying that things are going to work out. And I just don't know what to say. That's a huge one out there that I get it. It can be tough, because I just don't know what to say. And I've never had great extensive sales training and all this. And I came in the game and just kind of started doing okay, and had some family and friends send me to the business. And I got some realtors along the way, but oh my gosh, it was just so tough. And, my heart's beating faster even thinking about calling, because I don't know what to say. And that could be all the way from real estate agents you already spoke to before. I'm not talking about just cold calls. I don't advocate just having tons of cold calls or anything else. There's so many different ways to have this big freaking target list that speak of people that are in your circle, people you talk to, people that people that can introduce you, ways to have like our money magnet marketing system, get in front of them and already be nurturing that and getting you in front of people that, so you don't have to sit there and cold call. By the way, never called a cold call. I'm saying that simply so what I'm speaking about, but never called a cold call ever. If you're going to do it, that's the worst thing in the world. By the way, even when I came into the ball game, and before I was coaching or doing anything, somebody says, "So you're cold calling realtors?" I'm like, "Well, how's that a cold call? They're in the business. Like, doesn't make any sense why you even called it a cold call." I just never even got that. I just never even understood that. And I think that was one of the big mind plays that really was able to reframe, that was able to help me over other people, because I just never looked at it as a cold call. It's like, they're in the business. Like, it's not like I'm freaking calling somebody randomly about Ginsu knives. I mean, I don't know if they need Ginsu knives. A real estate agent needs a lender. Now, or they have a lender. Who cares, right? We have an episode on that, and I can continue to go deeper on that. And there's frameworks to get around that for certain. Never, by the way, question why they got some lender of like their choice, because once we question them and their choice and their decision making, gosh, we are marked big X forever, big red X. So, but the point being is that it doesn't have to be like quote unquote cold calls or anything else. Like, you don't know what to say still, right? Like, you've been there. Just think about that. You go to pick up the phone. So think of the scenario. I go to pick up the phone. I'm going to pick up the phone right now, and I'm going to call. What is holding me back? What is the thing that is holding me back? And think about the decision first. Like, that decision. How is that? How is what I think I'm going to say? How is the decision going into play here and holding me back from making the call? I don't know what to say. I don't know who to call, right? Which is a huge one. I don't know who to call. Why am I doing this? You definitely have to know why you're doing something so you can make that decision to call, decide to call. But what I see mostly is, hey, I need to do it. This is across the board. I see this with, I've spoken to hundreds of loan officers, and it's this right here. I know I should call, but I'm not calling. And a lot of times it becomes the decision of, what do I say? What do I say? What do I really say? I don't know. I never really got that golden, golden nugget to be able to call and how to say and how to systematically go through conversations. You need the frameworks, right? You have to have the frameworks. And our unclosing methodology is huge for that, because how to say it, what to say, the tonality you should be reaching, the verbal pausing you should be using, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're diagnosing, you're not demonstrating. Don't suffer from premature demonstration, meaning that you don't go in and, oh my gosh, I got to go demo right off the bat and just prove to them why I'm good. And that's killing the decision making of deciding to pick up that phone. Number 2 is self-judgment. Wow, this is a huge one. I hear all the time, maybe you've said it, I don't want to call and beg for business. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. I hate that one. And this is being perpetrated too by how many freaking people in the marketplace saying this. The people that are selling leads are saying this. Meanwhile, they are having you call leads 87 times to get someone to get someone pre-approved, and that's not begging somehow. so you get what I'm going here. It's totally off. And then these other marketers, oh my gosh, people are just going to come in droves to you. These realtors are going to be like, please do business with me. Oh my God, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Please, and knocking down your door, and they're just saying these lies, and they just stop begging for business. Listen, again, it doesn't have to be you're calling, quote unquote cold calls. Again, I don't, just so you know, but please reframe that in your mind. Your joyful opportunity calls, jocks, JOC, your calls. But understand that, these people out there are just preying on you to do business with them, right? So you feel like you need them all the time because they don't want you learning skill sets, frameworks, things to say to, agents to get business. They don't want that. They don't want to show you really how to fish, or the fishing they want you to do. is something that is going to be really not cost efficient, not time efficient, and it's going to never allow you to really run a business like you need to. And you're always going to have self-limiting, self-doubting beliefs in here, because that's what's being just cemented, right, by these things they're saying. And I'm begging for business. I'm not good enough. So you have this judgment. I'm not good enough. Oh man, this is for other people. Other people are, they can call and they're good on the phone. I'm not a salesperson, right? I'm not a salesperson. People say that all the time. Like, I'm not a salesperson. What does that even mean? I'm not a salesperson. I would think we have to go back and like, why do you not think that? And what do you think sales is? Sales is just about change, and broken down all the way is change, getting someone to change from, doing it one way to doing it another way, to going from one lender to you as the lender. And it's about conversation. It's about dialogue. It's about diagnosing. It's about understanding whether there is a sale to be made in the first place, and not, oh my gosh, I'm calling, begging, and I have to get this person. I know collectively, I'm going to call people. I'm going to diagnose. I'm going to see if there's a sale to be made. I'm going to be problem finding and in problem solving, not the product pushing. And then I'm going to do these things that are going to get me to be able to be different than everybody else. And it's not about beating someone on the head and I'm this ultra slick salesperson that is just is slimy and all that. It's about really having great conversations and seeing if there's a change to be made, if there's service to be given. So that is a huge one. I'm not good at sales. Again, what does that even mean? I don't know how to handle objection. This is a huge one. You probably out there like, this is a self-judgment all the way, because I don't know how I shrink. Remember the pendulum swing? I put this on my phone even to remind myself, and I was doing it for our group, and it's a pendulum swing, and one side is shrinking, one side is posturing, and in the middle is composure and confidence, right? Confidence, composure, right in the middle. And always think of that pendulum swing as you're having a sales conversation in general, or a leadership meeting, or whatever you're doing, even if you're talking to a spouse and stuff, like, hey, am I posturing because something's going on, or am I shrinking, or am I confident, composed when I'm having this conversation, even with my loved ones? This can be very, very vital to how you show up and how you do confidence and composure, rather than it's just this amazing skill set only the select few have. But knowing that going in, like, I can be confident, composed when when an injection comes up. It's great. It's an opportunity. Again, reframe it as from objection to an opportunity. This is an opportunity to serve at the highest level possible. This is an opportunity to be able to be way, way different. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you need to do when handling an objection, when not only handling objection, but but creating a tremendous opportunity for you to do business with them, you to be seen different, you to be just this freaking gold mine of a partnership that you can be and will be to them. So the number 1 is a pattern interrupt. You got a pattern interrupt off the bat. If you get an objection / opportunity, the pattern interrupt off the bat has to be, you have to be different. What every other lender is saying, gosh, you want to be different than that, because we all have scripts. We all have the scripts going through our head. Like, okay, just like somebody walks through the door, you've walked through the door. So imagine yourself, you walk through the door to a car lot and somebody comes up and you're like, oh, I'm just looking, right? Before you mutter anything out of their mouth, you have that script. So for someone in a car dealership, right? And I used to run Ashley Furniture. Again, people come through the same kind of thing. Is I would pattern interrupt off the bat. I would always try to coach my staff through this, and they're like, man, how in the heck are they talking to you all the time? And you're having these conversations rather quickly. And it was like pattern interrupt. And nobody really taught me this. It just, I have this, my reason why I do most things. And of course we teach this as well. All the decision, how you make decisions. This is a next level stuff where in sales training, it's literally the results people want, why they're doing it, and then confirmation how people want them to for people to look at them. It's next level stuff. Gosh, it's deep layer. But my reason why I do a lot of things really is it's got to deviate from the norm, right? So it's got to really deviate from the norm, just like with coaching with, Genius Loan Officer. It deviates from the norm. If you want the same old lame-o like other mortgage coaching programs have, like it's not anywhere close, and it's intentionally that way because I hate the same old lame-o stuff, and we want to be different. So I always just kind of had that in my mind, and that's kind of how I discovered it. But it was always, how do I pattern interrupt and do something different that is going to break their pattern of being able to just say, just looking. Or when you call a real estate agent, I have a lender, and then just, okay, now I'm shutting off, immediately going, boom. Of course, it's right into it. That's fantastic, right? And of course we go down, more paths, and we're able to put in hooks and stuff and kind of start changing someone's mind just a little bit, go, what's this? And a moment of that confusion really opens up a window of suggestibility. So it's a lot of stuff we're not going to go through here, but just when something, so write down some of the objections you think you're going to get or have gotten, and think, okay, how can I say something different that's going to cause them to go, that's different. That's not the same. What? And they kind of have that kind of side cocked, inquisitive look, like, what? And that is going to open up, just understand it's going to open up a window of suggestibility. Number two is you're going to clarify. So if somebody says they even have a lender, right, and you're like, oh, that's fantastic, that's great, what do you like about your lender? Oh, I like communication. It's not like, oh yeah, communication's great. That's a trap, right? I have on a lot of our sales sheets, it's clarify, clarify, clarify. Gosh, if you can just get in such a habit of clarifying without jumping. Again, we talked about premature demonstration. 70% of loan officers, 70% of the if you put a diagram up of how people are being taught how to sell in general, and then sell as a loan officer to a say a real estate agent, for example, it's going to be 70% presentation mode, right? And then 20% closing, and 10% kind of really good questions and getting any kind of goodness in there, right? Any kind of suggestibility is going to happen. And the reason, one of those big reasons is we get an objection, and then we go into, they kind of open just a slight bit of window there where they tell you, hey, I've got this person, and then you ask maybe a good question like, okay, good, why you like them, and they say something like communication, and then the next thing is like, oh my God, this is my moment. Yes, I've got my moment here, and I am going to strike like a cobra, like Cobra Kai. Like that's my guilty pleasure, Cobra Kai. It's so corny, but I like it. But you're waiting to strike, right? Strike first, right? So you're waiting to strike really quick because they gave you something that you can strike on. It's like, oh, communication, I am freaking the man. I am the woman. I am so great in communication. Oh my gosh, I'm going to tell them how I communicate, how it's just so great, and how they're going to get updates and all this other stuff. And we just pounce, right? We strike. And, we go to strike, and they just cut our head straight off, right? like a cobra should be. So at that point, you shut them down. You create more and more sales resistance at this point, because now they're burying in our foxhole, right? They're like, no, okay, I'm bearing down, because now you're talking about all the stuff that you kind of seem different, a little bit, kind of seem like I could talk to you. And now you went on for 10 minutes about how your communication is, and very well could be the same thing their lender does now. So now all you're shooting arrows, and it's just none of it's hitting a target, right? Because that is not something that they care about because they've already got that, right? So, and you know, even if you have something different, again, no, remember this, and hopefully you can repeat it back to me. What is our number one thing, our number one currency when it comes to sales? Focus. Hopefully you got that. Focus. And we lose focus, we lose their focus when we go into presentation mode, because it's all about us. Their blink rate goes through the roof, and they're like, okay, oh gosh, when are they going to get through this? And they're talking about 1968, their company opened up. I don't care. Like, I don't really care. But we go in that presentation mode, right? And no matter what question, by the way, or anything they may even ask, for example, like, we need to clarify. And really, the thing is, like, somebody says, for example, you know, how long y'all been in business? Like that's just a question that, and then you think, okay, well, they asked that question, so I need to go back and talk about the history and all that stuff. No, you don't. It's most of the time just because they don't know what else to ask. So, you know, well, they opened in 1995. Is there anything more you'd like to know about that, or is there a reason why you asked that question? And then pause, and they may say, well, you know, no, not really, just kind of interesting. Okay, cool. And then boom, right back to them. Or they say, you know, I don't like fly by night companies. I've had a problem with that. Oh, okay, well, tell me more about that. I'd love to hear about, you know, what happened. Right. So now we're clarifying. You understand right there, that little simple just redirect has helped you, rather than now I'm going to go presentation mode. So 70% presentation mode is what the old model is, you know, of the LO is doing. You are different. You're on here. Come on, you come with me. Come with this journey. That presentation mode is only about 10, 15% at most. And you remember, it's something along the lines of, you remember when you said communication was really important because of this? Would it be appropriate if I tell you a few things that maybe that may interest you to be able to help you grow your business together as in a partnership with us? Something along that line. Just made that up, right? So clarify what that is. Clarify what the deal is, why, you know, what that objection is really. And then really the last thing is open, continue to open the conversation up, open them up. If you're in front of somebody, to watch for open body language, get them to open. Once they're closed up, get yourself to open up your body language more, meaning that take up more space. Your hands and palms should be up and open, as if you're watching me on YouTube that we got this post on. Hint, please like and come by there and subscribe. Also get me a nice review on this podcast. Much appreciated. Get the word out there. Give me a review. I love it. Appreciate it. So, but get some open body language with you, but open this conversation up. So you have to continue to open this up. So clarify, and then open some conversation. Maybe you can throw some little nuggets in there, kind of get them so you're kind of throwing a hook out to get them to open up a little bit more, to some suggestibility of how, you know, you may be different. So the three things when you're handling objection, and nowhere, but just start thinking of this, can help you. Obviously we go in a lot deeper layers in this, but this is just to start opening your mind up now. And don't, again, we talk about why you're not calling, self-judgment fatigue. Oh my gosh, I'm shrinking, because what if they give me an objection? This is gonna make me feel bad about myself. This is gonna make me feel like I'm a failure. This is gonna make me feel all these things. But if you just know some steps as well to handle objections, this can really help you be prepared beforehand and going, hey, listen, I'm gonna get these opportunities, man. I'm gonna get these opportunities. It's gonna be freaking phenomenal. I can't wait to get these opportunities, because I'm going to pattern interrupt, I'm going to clarify, and I'm going to open the conversation up, and it's going to really give me further opportunities to serve people at a higher level. And number three is leadership. So third reason why you do not call, you do not prospect, is leadership. And it starts with self, right? Self leadership, self actualization of who you are and how you operate in a day is huge. So the number one thing I'll tell you that you have to protect is not just time. People think time. time is the most precious thing I have to protect. And time is 100% a huge thing you need to protect. But I'll tell you something that's even more important in a day to protect is energy. Energy is key. Energy is life. So I have this power four that I always go by, which is energy, prospecting, marketing, and relationships. And they all kind of coincide with each other. How much energy are they giving to you? Are they taking away energy? Or are they giving energy? So protecting this energy, and then as a leader, you are helping your teammates, your battleship commanders, as we call them, these great people that they're accelerators in your business. You're helping them with their energy flow and status and all that stuff. So you'll really exponentially grow if you will concentrate on the energy flows that are going on. And that's not some big foo-foo thing. And oh my gosh, this is kind of, oh yeah, that's awesome, Adam. No, it's real life. I'm not here to throw some little foo-foo stuff that does not matter. It's kind of, this is just make you feel good about life a little bit. This is real life. Energy is life. It simply is. If you don't have the energy, right? Like you think about if you're sick, it's hard to call, it's hard to do anything. Like protect this energy when you show up, being a leader within, like I got to show up with energy. Where's my energy flow at? And then really important in protecting this energy is who am I letting into my ecosystem, right? And so we talk about prospecting. If you have a real estate agent that is not if you have a real estate agent that is bleeding energy, like they're taking away energy, it doesn't matter that they're giving you a couple of deals a month, right? I know that's cool, and you think, oh man, that's no, I can't give this away. Think about what you're actually giving away, which is your energy, which is your energy flow to do more deals, your energy flow that is actually hindering your decision-making skills. It's hindering your self-judgment, right? Because all these things are bleeding into one, to another. And so your energy is something you have to protect with all times. And so let's get a little tactical here. You think about, you have to put up barriers, like big barriers with agents, teams, self. So what is the barriers you're going to put up today? And oftentimes when someone is in a file, they don't protect their energy, their time or anything, and put up these barriers by simply, what's the next time that I am allowed to look at this? What's the next time that my team can have contact with me? Oftentimes when we start adding people to our, to help us, then they're supposed to be able to help us with, 8 hours. They're in there 8 hours, yet they're only alleviating an hour of our time simply because we're allowing this to happen, where energy bleeds. And even when somebody's new off the bat, well, I can't just leave them alone. Show up with be a leader, have stuff for them to do. And times you may have to have 3 or 4 times during a day because they're new to go, okay, we're going to meet at 8:30. We'll meet back up at 10:30, back at, 1 o'clock and before the end of the day, for example. As we go, we're going to have 2 times, one in the morning, one before debrief at the end. I know, when they're really great, one time a day. We're going to meet in the morning. Boom, that's it. Unless there's an emergency, this is the times you can talk to me. Not because I'm too good. It's because it's for your own good, your development, our peace of mind, way we can have energy flows, way we can handle problems, way we can just move through our day in such a better way. Don't you want to be empowered with these decisions? Awesome. I'm going to empower you with these decisions. Leadership is huge for this. So protect your time, put up your barriers, and put up the barriers with agents as well. And just because you got agents send you deals, put up those barriers. Like maybe certain times you're shutting off your phone. Maybe if you're making your prospecting calls and it's say from 10 to noon, you got to put up those barriers, meaning that you may have to turn off your text messages at that time, not, just where you can't hear them and you're making the calls, for example. And when those come in for talking about appraisals, listen, at 12:01, that can be spoke about, but I'm going to put up those barriers with agents. I'm going to put it up with myself, and self meaning that, I'm going to only allow myself to do these these tasks during this time. So if you start to do these three things, you start to look at each one of these areas, I would venture to say that you're struggling in all three of these areas in some facet. If you're not doing a lot of loans, you're struggling in one of these areas for sure, and most likely all of them. And that's okay. That's great. That's great news. That's great news. I always take this, and people, this is a pattern interrupt. That's great news. Talk about it's great news. This is freaking fantastic. Tell yourself this is great news. Literally tell yourself, man, this is great news. It's great news, Adam. I get to now work on these things, and it's just going to elevate my business like I've never had before. Having no issues, acting like this is none of these are if you're doing 3, 4, 5, 10, even loans, whatever, plus or you're not picking up the phone at certain times you should, and you're just going, okay, this doesn't apply, Adam, then you got to work on awareness here. You got to work on like this self-judgment, right? Because you're thinking this is self-judging. This is not self-judging. This is awareness. This is great. This is great discernment. Go, hey, listen, I have some things I'm going to work on. That is exciting. That's exciting. How can these help me elevate and do 50% more deals in less time? I can go about my family. I can do more things. I can enjoy my life. So just understand that you're struggling with these. I struggle with these. From time to time, I still struggle with this stuff, right? Like I don't put up barriers when I should. Sometimes I don't box myself in like I should, especially when I was, I got more into GLO and we started really pushing it. We're getting messages like every 2 seconds and boom, 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 all this. And I'm getting like just flighty and all this stuff is going on. And I'm like, whoa, this is the exact stuff I teach against, and I'm doing it. And I had to slap myself on the hand. Now we have an app where all our messages are. Guess what? I have to go in to see if I have a message. I do not get the alert, right? Little stuff to say, okay, this is a barrier. Now I'm going to go into it. I'm going to listen. I'm going to see what's going on. But there's a lot of times messages will stay in there for a couple hours, right? Okay, now I'm going to respond. Even to one of my great business partner. That's part of it. So set up barriers around yourself and just understand, like, we're going to struggle with this, and it's not going to be something that, it's just going to be fixed forever. But think about, what is the main cause, and maybe what is the one thing that I'm going to really I'm going to dive in. So maybe I need to get more frameworks and stuff like that to have better conversations and feel like I know what I'm talking about on these things, which that's the first thing I'm going to do. And I'm just going to get coaching to really get those frameworks down and get better at that, because I'm going to show up differently in the marketplace and be able to call and have no, and it's not really going to be this big decision. It's like, okay, 10 to 12, I'm making those calls. I'm going to make those calls. So give yourself one favor when it comes to when you're trying to control your schedule. 3 things you need to do every day without fail. You need to prep. So prep your day, what you're going to do that day. 2 is going to be 2 hours a day. That means 2 hours a day you're doing something to make more money, meaning phone calls, outbound calls 2 hours a day. Meetings and the stuff that can be extra. So maybe it means maybe 4 hours total you got in that day. That's amazing. That's great. That's going to grow your business. And number 3 is dump. So in the end of the day, think about what you did, what you can prep for maybe, and already have pretty much for the next morning. So your prep doesn't take as long. You dump out kind of what you did, what went really well, what's some things you can work on tomorrow, what's some things you maybe would have done differently to make your day better. Put that down. Just continue to do that. You do that, you're going to really start to, show up differently and do more business. So that's all I've got. Man, I hope that you sincerely wish that you take this and you start implementing today. You know where to find me, geniusloanofficer.com. Schedule a call and we will get on there, and you will have a group coaching with us twice a week where we work on your business and we go through some just high level stuff. We got 100 some videos of just goodness that can teach you this and much more, way more. You get you a one-on-one coach that could help you as well to grow your business. You got all these resources where we just help you exponentially grow your business right now. So, gosh, if nothing else, get yourself help wherever. We all need help. I've got a coach as well. I've actually got a coach and I got a mastermind I'm in simultaneously that's helping me and always trying to grow. So I believe in it. You should too. And gosh, it's one thing to kind of listen to some podcasts, one thing to kind of look, watch some books. It's another thing to plop money down for an investment in yourself, not in the program, for yourself to grow, to just absolutely expand your mind and just widen that conceptual zone of what your concepts and what your imagination can allow yourself to have, and how you can show up every day. You know the drill. Limit your risk equals limited income.